In 1912, police entered a small studio in Austria. The room was cold, quiet, covered in unfinished paintings and scattered sketches of the human body. The artist inside was only 22 years old. Thin, intense, restless. Authorities searched the room, confiscated his drawings, and arrested him. Not for violence, not for theft, but for art, for beauty, for painting the human body too honestly. This was the world of Egon Schiele, the artist society feared. At the beginning of the 20th century, Vienna was considered one of Europe's cultural capitals. Music flourished, philosophy evolved, psychology was changing the understanding of the human mind, but beneath the elegance of the city lived a deep fear of human desire. Society demanded perfection, discipline, morality. Art was expected to be beautiful, but controlled. The body could exist in paintings, as long as it remained idealized. Distant, safe. Then came Schiele. Unlike traditional painters, Schiele did not paint perfect bodies. He painted fragile ones, twisted bodies, lonely bodies, hungry bodies. His figures stared directly at the viewer with exhaustion, vulnerability, and raw emotion. There was no attempt to hide human imperfection. No mythology, no fantasy, no decorative softness, only truth. And truth made people uncomfortable. Schiele had once been a student of the famous Viennese artist Gustav Klimt. Klimt opened the doors of modern art for him. But Schiele went even further. Where Klimt painted sensual elegance, Schiele painted psychological exposure. His lines were sharp, his colors pale and haunting. Many viewers did not see art. They saw danger. Rumors began to spread around the young painter. People whispered that his studio was immoral, that his drawings corrupted society, that his work crossed invisible boundaries no artist should touch. Then, in April of 1912, authorities acted. Schiele was arrested in the town of Neulengbach. More than 100 drawings were seized by police. During the trial, one of his artworks was reportedly burned in the courtroom by the judge himself. Burned, not because it lacked skill, but because it showed the human body too openly, too honestly, too truthfully. For 24 days, Schiele sat in prison. And inside that prison cell, he created some of the most emotional works of his life. He drew loneliness, isolation, fear, but he also drew something else. Defiance. Because even after humiliation and public shame, he refused to abandon his art. The question surrounding Schiele was never truly about obscenity. It was about honesty. Society often accepts beauty when it is polished and controlled. But raw beauty, uncomfortable beauty, human beauty, can feel threatening. Schiele's paintings forced people to confront themselves, their desires, their fears, their vulnerability, and many people would rather destroy a mirror than face their own reflection. History has repeated this pattern many times. Artists are praised centuries later for the same work that once shocked the world. Painters, writers, photographers, filmmakers. Again and again, society punishes those who reveal uncomfortable truths before the world is ready to see them. And perhaps that is why Schiele's story still feels modern today. Because censorship never fully disappears. It simply changes its language. But tragedy followed Schiele beyond the courtroom. In 1918, the Spanish flu spread across Europe. His pregnant wife, Edith, became ill and died. Only days later, Schiele himself died from the same disease. He was 28 years old. 28, one of the most controversial artists in Europe, gone before reaching 30. And yet, the drawings once confiscated by police now hang in museums. The paintings once called immoral are now studied in universities. Collectors pay millions for works once condemned as dangerous. Time changed the verdict, but the deeper question remains unchanged. Why are humans so afraid of honesty in art? Why does the human body become controversial when stripped of fantasy and perfection? And why do societies fear artists who reveal truth too clearly? Perhaps beauty has always been dangerous. Not because beauty corrupts people, but because beauty has the power to expose them. Egon Schiele understood that, and even in prison, even under public shame, even facing censorship, he continued to paint what he saw. Not fantasy, Not perfection, but humanity itself. And maybe that was his real crime. Not obscenity, not rebellion, but refusing to lie about what it means to be human. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe for more stories about forbidden art, censored beauty, and the dark history behind famous artists.